Great warriors are those whose stories are not limited to just their martial skills. Today, we bring you another inspiring tale that shows how important it is to walk the path of righteousness, no matter how much opposition comes from family or society. This is the story of a warrior who was born among millions, but chose the path of righteousness through the strength of his heart and faith. A warrior who, despite opposition from his family and society, remained steadfast on the path of truth, justice, and devotion. In this chapter of the Great Warriors of the Ages, we will learn the story of that warrior who, through his courage, loyalty, and devotion, not only protected the kingdom but also upheld righteousness and honor. His life is like a vast ocean, where every moment saw waves of dedication, struggle, and courage rising and echoing only for righteousness and justice. This is the fifth chapter of the Great Warriors of the Ages, Vibhishan. Vibhishan was born to the great sage Vishrava and his wife Kaikesi. Kaikesi herself was a powerful demoness, and her nature was filled with cruelty and harshness. But there was something different about Vibhishan from birth. Within him was an inclination towards wisdom, patience, and righteousness. The combination of Vishrava's teachings and Kaikesi's demonic upbringing made him a child who was balanced in both strength and restraint. From childhood itself, Vibhishan's thinking was different from others. He was not the strongest in physical power nor in anger, but his mind was always focused on the path of righteousness, justice, and devotion. Even in games, sports, and the family environment, he always stood up for justice and the right decisions. It is these very qualities that later enable him to uphold righteousness during the war in Lanka. As Vibhishan grew older, he saw that Ravana's path was one of arrogance and unrighteousness. His heart was always troubled by the question, what would be the right decision for the sake of righteousness? Vibhishan, the brave one born into the demon clan, was not as active on the battlefield as his brothers. His greatness did not lie merely in his sword or mace, but in his wisdom, principles, and devotion to righteousness. His contribution as a minister and advisor in Ravana's court was significant. But when the call of righteousness arose, he showed the courage to stand against his own family. He provided Ram and his army with information about the fortresses of Lanka and its hidden secrets, which helped change the outcome of the war. Vibhishan's life teaches us that sometimes the greatest battles are fought within the heart and mind. In the beginning, he participated in many battles alongside his brother Ravana and his family. For the control of Lanka, Ravana launched a campaign against his elder brother Kuber, and in this war, Vibhishan displayed courage and valor. Even though his nature was calm and righteous, he stood alongside Ravana and Kumbhakaran, entered the battlefield, and endured the hardships of war. This shows that bravery is not only about weapons, but also about following the path of courage and justice. His contribution in these wars demonstrates that he was ready to act out of loyalty and valor, even though his heart leaned towards peace and righteousness. In other battles alongside Ravana, Vibhishan always played the role of strategist and advisor. His intelligence and courage served as a guide for his armies during times of war. These very qualities later enabled him to stand with Ram and uphold righteousness. Although he was not the main warrior, his insight and bravery played a crucial role in changing the course of the war. Then came the time of the Lanka War, when Vibhishan chose the path of righteousness and truth and sought refuge with Ram. On the battlefield, he displayed remarkable bravery using his bow and arrows. When he stood before Indrajit, he showed all his strength and courage. His arrows brought down many demons, and he explained to the monkey commanders that Indrajit was Ravana's last hope. He said, "O chiefs of the monkeys, only by defeating this sinful demon will the end of this war be certain." Although Vibhishana had love for his family in his heart for the sake of righteousness and justice, he bravely fought against his own nephew. In another significant event, when Ravana began attacking from his chariot, Vibhishana destroyed Ravana's horses with his mace, causing the chariot to stop and forcing Ravana to stand on his own feet. This small yet decisive act changed the course of the battle and demonstrated that courage, intelligence, and strategy are just as impactful in war as the sword. Indrajit also tried to kill Vibhishana, which shows how important and dangerous his position was in the war. Vibhishana, along with the valiant monkey warriors Sugriva and Hanuman, contributed to defeating several major demons such as Prahasta and Nikumba, even if he did not directly slay them himself. Vibhishana's greatest act of bravery was that he stood against his own family for the sake of righteousness and truth, even at the risk of his own life. In this way, Vibhishana not only made strategic contributions but also displayed personal courage on the battlefield. He chose the path of righteousness without regard for his own life, and through his courage, leadership, and intelligence helped Ram and his warriors achieve victory. After the war, Ram made Vibhishana the king of Lanka and said, "Your devotion to truth and your bravery are immortal." The union of righteousness and bravery always leads to victory. Vibhishana proved that true valor lies not only in strength but in unwavering courage, intelligence, and adherence to the path of righteousness. That is why in the Ramayana he became immortal not only as a great warrior but also as a noble soul and a just king. Vibhishana's life teaches us that a true hero is not made merely by wielding a sword. His real strength was hidden in his heart and in his unwavering faith in righteousness and truth. He was a warrior who, by standing against his own family, showed that protecting righteousness and justice is the greatest act of bravery. His bravery was not just in his martial skills, but in the courage that kept him steadfast on the right path, no matter who opposed him. His greatness was hidden in his wisdom, his righteousness, and his love for justice. The tales of great warriors are not limited to battles alone. Every era has its own Vibhishanas. Some for religion, some to protect the truth, and some to demonstrate the strength of their faith and belief. These stories remind us that the real battles are not always fought outside, but within as well, with the mind, the heart, and the conscience. In the next chapter, we will meet the warrior whose very presence made the peace of injustice tremble, who neither bowed down out of fear of his friends nor was intimidated by the strength of his enemies, who tore through the webs of cunning and politics with his determination, and even when deceit and unrighteousness were all around, he never abandoned truth and righteousness. His story is not just one of swords and battles, but of his unwavering resolve, which did not falter even when standing against unrighteousness. Who was he, and how did his name come to be remembered for ages and ages? The answer lies in the next chapter of The Great Warrior of the Ages, because these are not just stories. These are the memories that were hidden beneath the dust of time, and now the time has come to awaken them once again.